Welcome, everyone, to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. This is our grand opening, our inaugural, our premiere podcast. On today's podcast, we discuss what will Baker Mayfield's Heisman statue look like, Sooner football recruiting, Sooners in the 2018 NFL Draft, Sooner basketball and some Sooner softball, and the overall dominance of Sooner athletics, and how the XFL will be like watching BYU football. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma, but we do have eligibility left. Booma. Hello, everybody. And this is Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Boomer, Rob.
Boomer, Terry.
Boomer, Caleb.
Boomer.
So what we're going to start off with tonight is we did our Facebook Live on Thursday night, and we didn't get to our Facebook poll, so we're going to cover our Facebook poll to start off with because that's what we're going to be, a lot of our discussion is going to be tonight is the recruiting and also the NFL draft. So our poll was, do you think the Sooners recruiting class will make an impact on the 2018 season? First off, Rob, what's your take on it?
Well, as we talked about on Thursday, we got a lot of guys that are going to come in and make immediate impact for the team. Defensively, I think we're going to shore up a lot of positions that we, quite frankly, were a little bit weak on last season. We've got more line help coming in. And the lowest star player we got was a 3-star. I think that star rating is a little bit questionable.
Yeah, it's somebody's opinion on how good the kid is. So
overall, I think we got what we needed out of the out of signing day. I think that it's just up to the coaches to build upon what we have.
Caleb, what's your take on the recruiting? Anything good?
Got to fix our defense. That's the main thing we need to fix. So that's all I cared about.
Well, overwhelmingly on our poll, even though our Facebook page is still fairly new, we've got 182 votes on it, and it was 95% yes and 5% no. And I think for the same reason that y'all were just talking about.
I'd be interested in seeing what the no's were and why they think that.
Yeah, I put on there for us to leave a comment. Nobody really left a comment, but as far as a few people did, but theirs was because they voted yes. But I don't know what people would be thinking to say no, because the numbers tell us what it is, and which is we got mainly defense. And what's been our problem the last couple of years?
Defense.
And since we all agree that we got defense, I think the number one guy that we picked up in the last, the main signing day, because now we have two, which still is weird to me that we have an early signing day and a signing day. I think we just should have signing day from December to February and whatever. But we picked up Michael Thompson out of St. Louis, Missouri. Big old boy. Rob, what do you think about him?
Very athletic. Going to make immediate impact, Terry, on the D-line. It's going to hold those offensive linemen off of our speedy linebackers and let them run around back there and make plays. I think that was one of our biggest problems this year.
Yeah, let big Caleb get back there and Caleb Kelly, not our Caleb, but Caleb Kelly get back there and do what he does best with his feet. He's also got real long arms, uses them well. He played offensive line as well, so he played both ways in high school, so he knows how to use his arms in blocking, but primarily also in defense. And that's been one of the big keys that people have said about him during the recruiting process, that he uses his hands really well on the offensive tackles.
Yeah, and coming in, he's a freshman, but he looks like a senior already.
Yeah, so really looking forward to seeing him. He's 6'3.5". Right at about 300 pounds. I think it's with the 291. So, lunchtime, it'll be 300 pounds.
They'll probably take off some belly and add some muscle weight to this kid, I would guess.
Yeah, he scored really well. They don't do bench press anymore. Did you know that for recruits?
Did not know that.
Yeah, they do a. I was looking up stats on this kid the other day, and they do like a medicine ball throw, and it's supposed to. They're on their knees. It's called something. I can't think of what it's called, but they're on their knees. They lean back and they throw a medicine ball.
Well, the NFL still does a bench press. I can just promise you.
Yeah, so
I don't know why we don't.
I don't know why high school kids aren't required to, in the process, do the bench press, but they don't do the bench press anymore. They lean back from their knees and throw a 3-pound medicine ball. So
these millennials today.
Millennials, exactly. They're drinking ultralight beer and weird haircuts and
Throwing
beards.
medicine balls. Back in our day, we did the bench press. I just want everyone to know.
With rocks on the end of it.
Cement buckets.
We lifted whatever we could. Tipped cows.
Cheerleaders.
Cheerleading.
Yeah, that's offensive these days, I know, but it was a lot of fun back then.
And also, just so everybody knows that while we're recording, we have the Winter Olympics playing in the room and trying
Also
to
have the Spurs game on.
the who?
Spurs and the Golden Stank Warriors.
They're a Texas team, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Horns down.
Yeah, horns down. Caleb, you're supposed to pipe in when we say horns down. So
Horns down.
horse. Thanks, Caleb.
Way
Way
to
to
be
stay
on
on
cue
top
there,
of it.
buddy.
But also wanted to bring up this week's segment. At least I am. You guys can pipe in if you want to. But I'm going to have a beer of the week every week during our show, and this week's beer of the week is Budweiser, the king of beers, the greatest American beer and the #1 beer selling worldwide.
Well, it'll be every week. It'll be the same beer. I feel like.
Are you pulling for a sponsor, Terry?
Hey, we have no sponsors yet, so I figure if once or twice I mention Budweiser beer, at least maybe they'll talk about us, or at least throw something our way. I'd just take a free case of beer, but I'm pretty easy when it comes to that. Another guy we picked up on the second signing day was a linebacker, Deshaun White.
North
Texas.
Richland Hills, Texas.
North Richland Hills, Texas.
6'1", 222, 4.740.
And I know that Lincoln Riley and apparently Stoops is really high on this kid. I listened to a report the other day on a local radio station, and Lincoln talked for about 5 minutes on this kid. It's got a lot of good speed. Looks like they're going to be really expecting this kid to play some next year the way where they're talking. Apparently he's pretty strong as well. So, we'll have him and Caleb Kelly, and it's still like we talked about. I didn't realize how many linebackers Oklahoma had. We have a ton of linebackers. There'll be like 9 sophomores this year.
We can't forget about Murray. He's all freshman first team All-American, so.
Yeah, a lot of these guys I think are hybrid kids that may move back into a safety role, and some of them maybe move down onto the line like a rusher type.
Yeah,
of
like
role.
an oboe.
Like an oboe.
That's going to be Caleb Kelly this year. That's his natural spot.
Oh, really? You think so?
That's what their plan for him is. Put Caleb Kelly where oboe spot.
His natural spot should be wherever the offense drops the ball, because when they do, he picks it up and runs it in for a touchdown.
Well, the first thing he does is when the quarterback gets the ball, he starts trying to tackle the quarterback, unless the quarterback gives the ball to the running back, and then he starts trying to tackle that guy.
And then he chases them.
That's my Waterboy reference. This brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Ever. You might try. Never mind. but you can drink beer. Budweiser. This week's beer of the week. So, but looking forward to seeing Deshaun White. And honestly, Hal Katira coming back this year, tight end. But he's the only true tight end that we have.
True sophomore.
Yeah, and everybody else, the other tight ends that we've had on campus have been receivers that they moved over from time to time to play and fill in, giving Andrews a break.
But what do you think about the backup fullback? I think his last name's Meyer. 6'5", 245, something like that. He's a fullback right now. He may move out to the tight end spot.
Yeah, tight end, 6'5" fullback is
huge.
That's basically a defensive lineman or offensive lineman
That's a Lyle Carr size, right? Wasn't he like 6'4", 250 or something?
Yeah, he is big, and I didn't realize we had a guy that big at the fullback spot.
And he's a true sophomore as well, I think.
Yeah, he was a freshman this year. So, did they redshirt him?
Yeah, they must have. I never seen him. Never heard his name called.
But we also, like I said, we did sign a tight end, a 3-star kid out of Texas. I loved the little, what we do, what Riley started doing is they has former players who are in the NFL go through the cards. And they said, another Texas kid gone sooner, which is what happens a lot. I'm trying to pull him up here again. But until then, let's talk about Bray Walker. Bray Walker is the only 5-star kid that we signed.
Rickie's 5-star.
But Bray Walker out of Westmore.
And he was actually bumped up to 5-star from the 4-star spot. So I would like to know why and how they do that. He wasn't a 5-star until after we signed him.
Yeah, and how does that happen? I don't know. That's part of the recruiting that I don't get is all of a sudden you go from a 4-star to a 5-star. Is it because he signed with Oklahoma or what? That's what I don't get. But he's big. Everybody in the country wanted him, and he wasn't he committed to Texas at one point in time.
That's the defense tackle that switched over
from Putnam City.
Yeah,
that's right.
He's the one who was to Texas. Once Bob Stoops retired, he came to. When Lincoln got the job, he switched from Texas to OU.
Oh, okay. Well, the tight end that I've been talking about that we got coming in is Braden Willis. Tall, lanky kid. He's athletic. He committed to Oklahoma on the second signing day, or also known as the real signing day.
We didn't start recruiting him until we hired the new coach from Georgia.
What's his name?
Beamer.
Yeah, Frank Beamer.
We didn't recruit a tight end this whole past year. When he came in, though, he got the kid.
Well, that's good. So. But now we got somebody behind Calcaterra who may push him a little bit. He's fast. His senior stats weren't that too much to stand out with. But on the seventh game.
Remember, this kid went to quarterback halfway through the year.
Exactly. Since seventh game, their quarterback goes down, and he finishes off the year as quarterback with over 500 yards passing, over 500 yards rushing, and also I think 26 touchdowns altogether. And in those his first 7 games, he had a touchdown catch in every single game. So he had 7 touchdowns then. So, but I think he's going to be an impact. We need another good, solid tight end, especially with Andrews going away. Which that's another thing. I know we're going to talk about some NFL draft here, but I read a couple of weeks ago where a lot of NFL experts said that Andrews should have stayed another year at Oklahoma. What do you think about that? Do you agree with that, or?
Well, as an Oklahoma fan, I definitely
he should have stayed. But a lot of people just said he needed another year.
Well, I think there's probably a whole lot of things leading to his decision. If Caleb's right and we're moving more to a run-pass option offense, which really that's a play and not an offense. But if that is the case, he doesn't want to. I don't think he wants to be a blocker as much as he wants to be a receiver.
Yeah.
And so he was going to get out of that before he could, get caught up into a kind of a tight end blocker role.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I want you guys to discuss. So Caleb, you can pipe in tough here. You guys been having these arguments about the RPO.
OU's whole offense is RPO. So I mean, every play that play, Andrews always opens RPO. The play to Flowers, when he popped up behind the defense, he's always opens RPO.
Listen, okay, put the bong down, because RPO is a play. It is not an offense. It's just like a play action is a play.
Well, I guess so. Every play's RPO then for you then. So that's all we run.
I don't think that's the case. There are some plays that are straight handoffs. There are some plays that are straight passes. The RPO, there's an option there, and we don't run that every play.
Well, Rob, not to take my son's side here, but there was a report on NFL Network that the Eagles with their RPO looked like more of a Big 12 offense than they did an NFL offense in the Super Bowl.
I'm not saying that we don't run it, because we definitely do. But RPO is a play and not an offense, because name me one offense that is 100% RPO.
Wishbone was that like an RPO run option?
No, there was never a pass option in the wishbone.
He threw the ball sometimes.
Yeah, but
like twice a game.
So,
Have you ever watched Army's offense? I think we had more completions in one game than Army had the entire season.
yeah, Baker Mayfield had one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think the Army-Navy game, wasn't there only one pass thrown in that?
Sorry.
Thanks, Caleb.
Way to add some class to these proceedings here.
But yeah, I think the Army-Navy game only had like one or two passes the whole game.
Yeah,
so.
they only had a handful their entire season. So.
And the game lasted like an hour and a half.
Can we just agree that an RPO is a play?
Caleb?
No.
No, RPO is not a play.
But I'll get more of a formation than anything else, like the Wildcat formation. It's multiple
What's
plays.
a play action then?
It's a play action.
Is it a play?
Well, RPO is like the RPO. There's a difference between RPO and a play actions. RPO is the quarterback reads the DN and then he decides what hands it off. If not, there's three plays in one play. That's why it's RPO.
And
It's
Oregon,
it's
Chip Kelly at Oregon is the one who developed that. And I will say that
the whole offense was RPO. Every play had three options.
Had three options, and it was up to the quarterback to hand
decide.
it, run it, throw it.
And is that what we do?
Yes.
That's what we do. We don't ever have any just straight running plays or just straight pass plays.
We do have straight running plays. I said it's more of a formation than anything else, though. They line up in formation.
That's not a formation.
It is a
RPO is a
formation.
play.
It's a formation.
Like a pro set. So getting the RPO set, and the next play we'll get in the pro set, the I formation. No, you're not making any sense at all.
That's what it is. You're just old and you don't know how stuff works anymore. Just like I don't know how the wishbone works because because that's outdated because it's too slow.
Because you're not cool.
It doesn't work because everyone's too slow. So I mean that's why it doesn't work no more. It's outdated. Just like the Wildcats weren't no more. Just like the West Coast offenses weren't no more. So I mean everything is outdated. And that's what happened with the wishbone.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the case. What do you think, Terry?
It's true.
There's still teams that run it.
And when's the last time a team won something that runs it?
Well, Army-Navy won their conference.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Who won this year and what offense did they run?
Who won what this year?
Who won?
In college or NFL?
College.
Alabama.
And what offense did they run?
Well, they ran a power running formations and they were getting their asses beat, and so they put a freshman quarterback in who actually could do RPO, and went up the second half and whooped their ass. So that's what happened. They Saban adjusted, and like, you know what? I'm going to get my old ass out of here.
There wasn't any run pass option. When they put that guy in,
you didn't watch the second half at all. Then obviously,
well, I didn't watch much of it.
Yeah. I didn't either. It was too heartbreaking to sit there and watch it and try to have to deal with it. We should have been there, but we're not.
The Sooners definitely should be there every year.
Well, yeah, I mean,
should be.
But they're the only team that they're going to let be there every year, and I think they would let Alabama in if they'd have lost 2 games. I still think they'll let them in if they lose 2 games.
Yeah, I do too. Let's talk for a minute. I don't want to change the subject on you, Terry. But where are they going to put Bob Stoops' statue? They're going to put it by the Bud Wilkinson Center, and are they going to do that during the spring game?
Well, they're moving the statues outside from inside the center, so Wilkinson all they'll be outside in North Zone.
Well, they're already out there. Switzer's and Wilkinson and
I thought they put them inside. They move them outside now.
Yeah, they're out. They're outside.
I heard they're moving some statues from inside to outside.
I don't know. I mean, it probably belongs there outside with Barry and Bud, but and Benny. Isn't that the other one? I can't remember the other one off the top of my head. But anyway, because it's as great as the coach is, as we all know he was, he only got 1 national championship.
And a lot of people say it wasn't with his players.
Yeah. Well, most of it, that was true. Had a few of his players in there. I can't think of his name now off the top of my head. Golly. We're getting old.
Are you sure we're Sooner fans?
But he's the one who was going to take the trophy away from Winky.
Played at Green Bay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
But he was, everybody else they brought in, but he did play in 4 of them, 5 of them. got beat by
No,
Florida.
no. Let's not bring that up.
And got beat by LSU.
USC.
We're not talking about the USC game. That was terrible. But he did have a winning record against Texas. So that's, something.
Yeah, some people might say, well, who didn't? I guess you could say OSU didn't. But, I think to some point they did. But
yeah, they'll put it out there with it. But, I mean, like I said, they, Barry had 3. Bud had 3. He won, which, I agree with it. It belongs out there. You win one, just like what LSU does. They have a coach win a national championship. There's a statue, and outside of LSU Stadium, there's a statue of Nick Saban, which is hilarious, yeah. Especially when he comes to town. That he has his own little statue.
I think he goes by and gives it a little pat or something.
I want to know if they're going to put up the Baker statue. Is he going to be planting the flag or grabbing his crotch?
Probably neither. I don't think the University of Oklahoma is going to be involved in that type of situation. I'm sure it'll be as politically correct as the university is. Not saying that's a bad thing, but
well, there was nothing politically correct, or is there anything politically correct about Baker?
Yeah, but there is about the university. And that's,
that's
who's in control of putting that statue up. So I'm just going to let you know, there will be no crotch grabbing going on in the statue.
But, so that leaves, is he going to be throwing the ball? Is he going to be running? He is the only, Sooner that had a natural Heisman pose during a game against Oklahoma State when he stiff-armed the defensive end and ran it in, and all the pictures hit. There he was in the Heisman pose, so maybe they'll do that one. I personally like the flag.
Oh yeah, I do too. I think if he's just holding one, or if there's one in the background, I don't care. I think that would be pretty cool. But I'd be interested in just something different than what Jason and Sam's.
Yeah, if nothing, just him running with the flag. It doesn't have to be planting it if he's just running carrying a flag.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What do you think, Caleb?
I think if we wanted all, they would have done planting the flag. But I honestly think they would have done that then. But also, too, I hope that his statue looks more like him than like Bradford's, because Bradford looks nothing like him. So hopefully they get the face right this time.
I haven't looked at it that close, so.
Don't have to look that hard. It's pretty
Not really.
simple.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
Okay, well, apparently Bob's statue, it looks like him. At least everybody who saw it on the trailer coming through town when they had it made, 5 years ago?
That was quite the ordeal that day, driving around Norman looking for the university. And Bob's just waving at everybody.
Yeah, there's a big giant bronze statue out there. But, this is the time of season that I hate, though, because it's really right after football. And, even though college football has been over, but we still had pros. And so you still had the NFL playoffs, which have 8 teams, 16 teams? That's interesting. Maybe we should think about that in college football.
Right.
But, you got to watch the playoffs, and then you had, half, or I guess 80 or 90% of the country celebrated that the Eagles beat the mighty Pats and, stop that rain again. But now, like today, you get up and there's, I turn on the TV and there's nothing but, Olympic. Watched a little bit of basketball. Sooners again lost today in basketball. What was it? 88-80 was the final score.
85, I think.
They was down by 17 at one point. We came back and tied the ball game, and then we let them go on another run at the end.
Yeah, tied it with 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
And just, Rob, you and I have talked about this before, and, every coach has their niches and everything, but, really, we had Buddy Hield, 2 years ago, right? Was, and we had a great team. He goes, we fall down. Now we get this kid in here,
Trae Young.
Trae Young, and same thing. We got a great team. We're struggling a little bit. They
We
guard
got
him.
an okay team. We got one great player, and everyone else, we don't know who's going to show up. When Buddy Hill was there, we have four players. We have 4 players on the team that actually could score by themselves. With this team, Trey Young is the only player that actually can make his own shot. So it's Lon Kruger.
Lon Kruger. Yeah, Lon Kruger. That's
You should ask me that.
my question is, how everybody believes he's a coach. I think he's a great guy. He knows how to coach. Obviously, he's been doing it for a long time. But it's like, unless he has one superstar on the team doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he gets a lot of national attention, a lot of national accolades. I think he's a pretty fine coach. Actually.
He's the only coach ever to take 5 teams to the Final Four. No other coach has ever done that.
Well, yeah,
and
true.
He's nowhere places. BYU.
Yeah, BYU, OU, a football school, Kansas State. I mean, I think he did Florida too before Florida was good. So I mean,
well, I'm still surprised that he got Trey Young. I guess maybe it had a lot to do with staying home. Wasn't that part
Hometown
of
roots.
it?
hometown.
He may have thought that he's only going to be here 1 year anyway, so might as well stay home for one more year.
I thought he'd be a 2-year guy. It's looking more like 1 year, but there's rumors that his family wants to stay for 2 years, which I don't know if that's good or bad if he stays for 2 years.
I think he needs the second year, to be honest with you.
I do too. I don't think he's ready for
I don't mind him
the
staying
NBA.
there. I think he'll be so much pressure on him, and every game, if he does one thing bad, he'll just get torn apart. The longer you stay in college, the more you get picked apart. That's the only problem about staying. Because
every college football, college basketball, highlight or show that comes on, and even an NBA, every time the NBA's on, they talk about Trey Young.
Mm-hmm.
You got LeBron commenting on him. You got during every game, or every ESPN.
when ESPN
highlight.
When ESPN promotes them, it's not West Virginia versus Oklahoma. It's West Virginia versus Trey Young.
Yeah.
So that's every highlight it's versus Trey Young.
Here's the thing: if he's top 5, maybe even top 10, he's not staying.
He's for sure top 10. He's borderline top 5.
I don't know. I mean, if it were me, of course, I've had to make these decisions before in my life. Between,
playing for free or playing for $20 million.
Yeah, but the difference between do you want to stay in school, another year and bring your stock up a little bit more if he's top 10, if he's 6 through 10, I wouldn't come out. It's still a lot of money.
It's a lot of money to turn down.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to turn down, but it's not near as much money to turn down if you're top 5.
Right. No, I agree. But if he goes, then Cam McGusty takes this team back over with Brady Manick next year. They're going to lose Kadeem Lattin, but they still got Jimani McNeese. So, overall, it's still a pretty good team next year, I think, if he does go. But if he stays, they got potential.
Yeah. But, that just me, if it were me, it's the same thing what I brought up a while ago with Mark Andrews. A lot of people said, coming out, several people have said, several of the draft experts have said, by coming out this year, he cost himself probably $1 million, because if he got, he's going to get better. He's already great. He's big, strong, he's fast. I guess people see some things they need to work on, which again, I'm no draft expert. I don't know what they're seeing. We during the games, we called him always open Andrews, because every time he went down the damn field, he was open. We had some guys at the Rose Bowl from California who started calling him that. They didn't know who to root for, but they like me and Caleb, so we were schooling them, and it's always open Andrews. So, but they say he cost himself some money by coming out.
If he runs a good 40 time, he'll be good. Like Lane Johnson beforehand was a mid-rounder. Everyone's saying he wasn't fast and athletic enough. He went to combine running a 4.5 40. And he's number 3 pick in the draft. Yeah. So if he runs a good 40, all that will go away.
Which he will. I mean, that's why he's always open. He has a good 40, and he's got a big body.
Yeah, and he's got long strides. He's one of those. He don't look like he's going like Vince Young. He doesn't look like he's going 4 or 5.
Right.
Because he's taking a step every 5 yards. So
he reminds you of an NFL tight end. Caleb, does any come to mind?
I think Travis Kelce is the main one. Reminds me of.
Are you sure there's not one? just south of Norman.
I mean, I'd rather give a compare to he's more like Travis Kelce. He's not big enough for it to be like Witten.
Are you sure?
He's faster Witten, he's not big enough.
Kind of like Keith Miller
He
was.
may be. Yeah, Witten may have about 20, 25 pounds on
Yeah,
him. But
he's faster Witten, and Witten's more.
Anybody that picks him up, they're going to put 20, 25 pounds.
Yeah, he's more of a, I think he's more of a Travis Kelce, which I think is better comparison. The way he plays and how he plays. He's not as cocky as Kelce is, but he might change when he gets to pros. So I never know, actually.
Well, if I'm a pro team, he's definitely going to be on the list.
Oh, yeah,
if
he's
I
on
need
the
a
list.
tight end.
Yeah.
So
Well, on the draft, what about Baker saying the other day? They asked him what's he going to do at the combine. He said everything. He said I'm going to do everything. I'm going to put it all out there on the line. I'm not going to leave anything to question. They'll see everything I do. I'm going to run the 40. I'm going to do the vertical. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do the bench press. I don't want people. He goes, that's just who I am.
listen, he's going to impress some people.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's added probably 10, 15 pounds of muscle since the Rose Bowl game. I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah, and so I mean, I take my because my hat off to him, because most of your quarterbacks, they either don't go to the combine or they just do the quarterback drills. They don't do the 40 times. Especially your highly touted ones like he is.
Well, he's not a prototypical quarterback. If he was 6'5", 230, then yeah, I could see him saying, yeah, I'm not going to do the 40. I'm not going to do the lifting. But he's not. He's going to have to prove himself like he did at Texas Tech, like he did at Oklahoma. He's going to have to do that in the pros.
He's still ranked as a fourth best quarterback with most scouts. Even though most people would say they probably would pick him, they think NFL teams are just still scared of him because, one, the Johnny Manziel factor, which makes no sense to me at all, but he's small and he's cocky like Johnny Manziel, so people put that comparison up. He just needs to be – I think he has to do everything because that's just who he is, though. He just wants to go out there and compete. So I think the only thing it's going to do is help him.
I don't. Yeah, it will do nothing but help him, because that's his personality. It's I'm going to show you personality, and I'm interested to see how he does in all of them. The 40, the bench press, all of that stuff. I'm interested to see what goes on with it.
Well, nothing but good things happening at Oklahoma. I mean, not really wanting to get off the topic of football, but the gymnastics teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to compete for national titles.
Again,
The softball team, they didn't lose anybody from last year's national title team.
and they opened the season yesterday with 2 home wins, right?
And 2 today.
Yeah, they won both of them today.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen it yet today.
10-0. We may have the 3 best pitchers in the nation on our team, on the Sooners team.
And without a doubt, they're gonna be competing again this year. Patty's got it going. She knows what she's doing.
Oh yeah, she's got it. She's on point there.
And we're definitely going to catch some softball games this year, and some baseball games too.
I'm going back to Baker right faster. I think we can all agree, though, as long as it goes to the Browns or the Jets,
Oh, my God.
he's going to be good. Right? Just avoid those 2 teams. We'll be happy.
The Browns is where quarterbacks go to die.
And the Jets.
The Jets, I'd almost rather see him.
I don't know. The Jets are terrible.
Yeah, but
Browns at least have at least a decent offensive line, and they're building some defense. The Jets are just a mess. They're terrible.
I wouldn't mind seeing him at the Giants.
I think the Dolphins might be the team he goes to.
Wouldn't mind
And
seeing him at the
Dolphins will be a really good
Dolphins.
fit.
Yeah.
The Broncos are a threat too, but they might get Kirk Cousins. If the Broncos get Kirk Cousins, there's no reason to get Baker.
Baker's not going there if they get Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, so. But I kind of hope he goes to Miami. I think Miami he'll be with Kenny Stills. They have a good running back. Actually, Williams who went to OU too, so he have 2 Sooners to throw to. So I mean, and their team's pretty loaded. They just need a quarterback. So if he goes to Miami,
because Miami's had that any hybrid quarterback. He didn't play quarterback.
No, they had Jay Cutler.
But before him,
That Tannehill
Tannehill,
was a receiver.
Yeah,
Then went to quarterback.
Do they run an RPO?
The only team that runs RPO is Eagles. Look what happened.
Eagles in Oklahoma, right? Eagles in Oklahoma?
I mean,
RPO?
everyone has RPO in college. If you're a running quarterback. Imagine if the Cowboys ran RPO, Dallas Cowboys, how dumb that team would be. But they have a dumbass coach. That's why
Instead
they'll
of
do
being
it.
America's team, they might be the world's team, right?
Well, if only they had that smart coach, you never know.
I think they need a smart owner. But speaking of Dallas, we're going to be going to the NFL draft. We're going to be putting stuff out there on that in the coming weeks. It's April the 26th, 27th, and then 28th at Cowboy Stadium. So I'm looking forward to that. We already made some reservations today, so waiting to find out about some of the. Oh, I also didn't tell you guys I submitted to the NFL for some press credentials. See what happens. So,
All right. Crossing our fingers on that one.
we can be in there with all of them. I want to meet Gruden. That's one guy I want to meet.
Gruden's a coach now, so
I know, but he'll be there. Probably he'll probably be out in Oakland in the war room, won't he?
L.A. Oakland, Las Vegas,
whatever the hell they are.
I don't know what they're going to do. Probably Vegas after a year.
I think it's 2 years they're going to Vegas.
Well, last year was 1 year, and then which is the weirdest thing. Like, we're leaving you guys, but we're still playing y'all stadium.
Yeah,
makes no sense at all. And then we're gonna get good and we'll leave you. That sounds awesome.
But back on what Rob said, what we were talking about. We were talking about the Oklahoma athletics, without a doubt, is cream of the crop.
Well, last year we set a record for most national titles by in a 2-year period by any college, and so that was pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, because we had men's gymnastics, women's gymnastics, softball, golf,
pairs tennis.
Didn't we have a national champion in singles tennis too?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, I was in the tennis center maybe a week ago, and the woman behind the desk is one of the coaches. You should see that ring.
Oh, is it?
Like, this is a small woman, and if I was wearing the ring that she had on, it would look huge on my hand.
Jeez.
Right? And I'm almost 6'2", 400 pounds. She's probably 5'9". She wasn't even 5'9". She's probably 5'6", 130 pounds or something. So it was like she was carrying a brick around on her hand. And there were more diamonds on it. I swear, it was nice.
I got to throw this out here too, though. Just a fun fact that if y'all didn't know, Oklahoma's gonna look out for XFL. So we might have an XFL team here in Oklahoma to root for. Hey, it's football, and you can't basically clean football though. You have to stand for an anthem, and you can't. And if you have any charges against you, you can't play in XFL. So it's gonna be a bunch of white people
rules
playing.
All of us out.
Yes. It's gonna be a bunch. It's pretty much be watching BYU play over and over again.
Alrighty.
But do you really think he's going to do that, Caleb?
I think when you realize, the bigger reason to do XFL is to get John Manziel to play. Because John Manziel came out and saying, "Hey, I want to play." And he came out saying, "If you have any arrests, you're not playing my league." John Manziel goes play XFL. That attracts people. You got John Manziel versus Tim Tebow. Like, who doesn't want to see that matchup?
Doesn't he have charges on him?
He does. That's why he can't play. And he's trying to come back. He actually has a contract with a Canadian team. But like I said, though, who doesn't want to see John Manziel versus Tim Tebow? Jesus versus Satan. Come on. Who doesn't want to see that matchup? The Golden Boy versus the Bad Boy.
Miami.
And it is. It's the Golden Boy versus the Bad Boy. I think everyone would tune in and watch that game.
Well, I know that Gene Simmons wanted him on the Kisses arena football team.
Yeah, which Tim Tebow?
Yeah, he wanted him on the
I think Tebow might do the XFL. I think XFL might
tell you
actually fit
something.
him.
Any team that Tebow goes to, he makes them better. He does. I'm telling you.
He did beat the Steelers.
He knows how to win football games, and he brings teams together. I'm telling you.
He's like Baker that can't throw, pretty much. It's a non-throwing Baker.
Well, if they just run an RPO, he'll be fine.
Well, that's all they ran in Florida. That's why they won so much.
Oh. Well, hey, I got one of our little segments that we're going to be doing is great moments in Texas football history. Horns down, Rob.
Horns down, Terry.
Horns down.
And I found a deal today for today's, and if y'all have any, you can pipe in. But we're going to run down the 5 worst losses in Texas football history.
All right.
And the funniest part of all this, it was under one coach's reign. Wonder who that is.
Let me answer that for Chris.
Was it him?
No, it was Charlie Strong.
Oh.
He's got all 5 of them.
All 5, Charlie does?
I can't blame him though. I can't blame. I actually like Charlie Strong. I actually liked him because he got there.
I did too because we beat him all the time.
Well, actually, he beat us when he was
once.
No, he beat us like twice.
You
sadly.
both are shunned.
I like Charlie Strong. I like him because when he got there, he kicked off a bad people team. I think he's a good coach. It's just him going to Texas has made no sense.
I think he's probably a pretty good coach. Texas has not been good since the addition of the Longhorn Network.
Yeah, that's true.
That's absolutely
the curse of Longhorn Network.
The curse of the Longhorn Network.
Or you say curse of Kurt or what's his name, Colt. Because when Colt hurt his hand, or whatever, in the first quarter against Alabama,
They all
and then
went
just
down
set out
from there.
and then set out from there. They haven't won anything since then.
Well, the number 5 worst Texas loss in history is September 6, 2014 to BYU. It's funny that we bring that up because, what'd you say, Caleb? The XFL will be what we like watching BYU week after week.
Bunch of people with no charges or anything. I mean, heck, even Baker came and played in XFL. So I mean,
yeah. At halftime, Texas was down 6-0 and ended up losing 41-7. Charlie Strong's quote at the end of the game: "It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to this program. It's an embarrassment to this university."
So it's on the list because it was BYU?
Probably.
Because BYU beat us once upon a time. I'm just saying.
they also hurt Sam Bradford and destroyed our whole season. And we got Landry Jones come in.
Yeah, that was the birth of the stash. Number 2 was
Wait, are we won 5-1 or?
yeah, 5-1.
Okay, so
Anybody
4.
want to? Yeah, 4. Sorry. Good. So, anybody want to guess? It's Charlie Strong, so it wouldn't be that far back.
I think. I already know what number 1 is.
September 5th, 2015, at Notre Dame.
Well, that was a beatdown. That game was
Yeah.
bad.
The Irish went up 14-0 and just went downhill from there.
The next year, Texas beat them. Remember, Texas was back, and then they went 5-7.
They lost that game 38-3. Charlie Strong's quote was, "You look at the last 3 showings we've had, and it's been embarrassing." There seems to be a.
So I'm pretty sure I know what the number 1 is too.
Okay, number 1. I think everyone knows number 1 is.
Let's get there because we need to talk about
You're going to be surprised, but let's see. The next one is December 29th, 2014 against Arkansas.
It's a bowl game.
It was in Houston.
It's a bowl game.
Yeah. The Longhorns never seem interested in prolonging their seasons, staggered by the weight of a long year.
By the way, we got a Texas fan in the room right now, and he's just down in Jaeger right now. Listening to this right now, getting super angry. He's poured like 5 shots of Jaeger right now during this 2 teams.
Where it really turned bad with Jonathan Gray fumbled with his back to the end zone, and Arkansas's Tywan Johnson recovered for a 17-0 lead. Strong's quote at the end of the day: "For that to happen is an embarrassment to the program and should never, ever happen within the program." He kind of says the same thing over and over.
that. May be why he's not working there anymore.
Number 2, October 13th, 2015, at TCU. They lost 50-7. Let's see. Kyle Ashby's punt snapped up.
I want to hear about this because
Skip this.
yeah,
Let's go
because
to number 1.
no, because after this fucking Chase McCoy had a game of his life against OU, so when I hear that TCU game, it makes me angry.
Well, we got to go to Strong's quote. The day was awful. It was embarrassing.
Number 2,
Yeah, number 2, and now number 1.
Kansas.
No,
Kansas
actually,
Jayhawks.
nope.
What? This is wrong.
No.
It's way wrong.
This is wrong. It's not Kansas.
So if
Kansas
you
has
lose-
won 1 game in 3 years in the Big 12.
If you lose by half a point to Kansas, that is your number 1 loss ever.
Well, this one is actually they have October. This is out of an Austin newspaper, so they probably don't even talk about Kansas.
They don't want to admit Kansas. There.
It's so embarrassing they don't want to admit it.
Kansas has 1 Big 12 win in the last 4 years. And guess who that's against? It's against Texas.
Well, they've got October 31st, 2015 at Iowa State, 24-0. Strong's quote at the end of the game: "I don't think they were embarrassed on Saturday. I don't think that was embarrassing."
This poll is fake news. All right,
Fake news.
Yeah, Kansas is
It's
number 1.
it's not fake. It's just not full news.
Yeah, Kansas number 1. Kansas is number 1 for sure.
Kansas definitely
Yeah, Kansas.
grand champion on that list.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the running joke. You go on Twitter, like, well, at least Kansas still beat Texas. I mean,
yeah. This comes from this data comes from Hookem.com.
So I'd like for Oklahoma State to put the same list together. And guess what? They got beat by a D2 team.
This is true.
Central Michigan's not D2.
They're D2.
No, they're not. They're Conference US. They're a MAC or Conference USA. That's not D2.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
They would be middle of the pack D2 division.
Hey, the greatest receiver in the NFL went to Central Michigan. So You watch yourself.
Lynn Swan? He didn't.
No, Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, your receiver.
Yeah, and so did the greatest quarterback went to,
Oklahoma and then UCLA.
I think actually Michigan's probably the school he went to. Troy Aikman's the most overrated quarterback that ever was in the NFL, by the way.
Why is that?
Jay Cutler has better stats than him. So,
Why is he the most overrated quarterback, though? He won 3 Super Bowls?
At least.
Yeah. I mean, he also had the greatest offensive line in front of him.
Well, that comes part of it. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I think anyone can win that. I mean, Jason Garrett won some games there, so it's not saying much.
So I think that if it was your team, though, all that would be okay with you.
I don't know. It's like saying
I really feel like that.
I mean, if you say he's the greatest quarterback, that's just dumb. Everyone knows who the greatest quarterback is. We just hate saying his name because we
don't say his name.
He's weird. He's 4 years old and threw for 100 yards in the Super Bowl. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah, we don't talk about him, though. Nobody likes him. Everybody hates him.
Unless you're from Boston, then you love him.
Unless you're from Boston, yeah. I know the Bostonites.
So you know what happened in this Super Bowl? They checked the air and the balls before the game started.
I bet
Well,
they did.
it didn't seem to affect him, though, at all. Until he got sacked. When he got sacked, the air with the ball was too filled up when he got sacked.
Yeah.
And he dropped it. That's trips.
I don't know. There were some calls in that game that were.
Well, that 2-point conversion when the guy tackled the guy when they were trying to go up by 7.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game, the guy tackled him, and Chris Collinsworth was like, "I don't know, he got there a little early." But if you watch the game again, everyone's been on Twitter this week that Chris Collinsworth had like money on the Patriots or something because he was pro Patriots the whole game.
Yeah. Oh, sure he did. I think there was, I don't know how many billions of dollars were.
Well, actually, most of the money was on the Eagles.
Yeah.
They had I think $4 or $5 million bets on the Eagles.
Yeah, but the all the money that was billions of dollars.
Who thought Nick Foles would outdo Tom Brady in the Super Bowl?
One thing's for sure, none of those billions were of mine.
Nope, mine either.
I should bet on. I knew the Eagles would at least cover. And the Patriots always win by at least 1 or 2 points. Never win by more than 3, and they're a 5-point favorite.
Yeah, because they've never blown anybody out.
No, they're always close games. Even when they lose, they're always close games.
Who's winning the Spurs game?
Is tied 44-44, and the Spurs fan in the room is getting real angry because they're up by 20 earlier or something like that. So,
and plus we're talking about his beloved Longhorns.
Oh yes, I don't know if
All right.
What else? What else we got going on? One thing we need everybody to do is go on to 10best.com, vote for the Sooner Schooner as the best sports tradition nominee for 2018.
The Roughnecks.
The Roughnecks. And the plan is in a couple of weeks, hopefully we're going to have a group of Roughnecks here and going to talk about their tradition and what they all get to do. Rob's son, Rhett, is a Roughneck.
We're going to have them sign your Bertha gun.
No, we're not. Nobody signs that gun.
I don't, if Baker comes in this room and says, "I will sign your birthday gun," he's going to sign a birthday gun.
No.
Baker can do no wrong.
No.
Okay.
And one other thing, our returning running backs, Trey and Rodney.
We also got 2 freshmen coming in, supposed to be really big, good too.
But
That's why we lost Adams.
They have the most yards after contact per attempt returning to the Big 12 this year.
Is that have to do with Big 12 defenses, or does that have to do with them being really good?
I think it has to do with them being really good.
I think it's a mixture of both, too, though.
Yeah, because Trey Sermon has 4.13 yard after contact yards.
Well, Rodney Harrison's like in the top 10 for Heisman favorites this upcoming year. So Rodney Harrison is a Heisman contender this year. I think him and Kyler Murray in the backfield at the same time with the RPO offense is going to be very, very dangerous with those 2 guys. We saw it in the West Virginia game. 2 plays. First play, Murray kept it, ran 80 yards.
72.
That's 72 yards. I mean, you got a little glimpse of how that offense is going to run that one game against West Virginia. Like that tandem right there is going to be really scary.
So as we've seen with the wishbone, defenses can figure those out and shut them down. So he's going to need to be more than just a running quarterback.
Well, he actually has the better completion percentage than Baker did. He only had one incompletions last year, and it was a drop pass to Meade. So, I mean, he threw the ball over 20, 30 times at one completion, and it was a drop pass. I mean, he puts the ball on the money when he throws it, too. Yeah, he was the number 1 recruit in the country.
He's going to have to be able to do that.
I think he is. I honestly think he could have just as good as Baker. I don't think he's as good as Baker. I don't know. I think he's pretty good. I'm real high on Kyle Murray. I think he has a really good chance to. I don't think we're much that much. I think Baker's great. I love Baker, but I think Kyle Murray is not much a drop off. I don't think.
Well, athletically, there's probably
There's no question
there's
no
there.
doubt.
comparison.
Yeah. And he does have a rock. I think he actually have a stronger arm. He might not be as accurate, but his arm is probably stronger. He has a rocket to his arm too.
He definitely does.
I mean, he's a baseball player, so if you play baseball, you're gonna have a rocket on the arm too. So,
Well,
I mean,
and what we seen from him last year when he came in was he was so nervous that Turf Monster got him a couple of times. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
He had 20, 30 yards wide open space in front of him, and he goes down because he's just so nervous that.
well, I kind of like that. He's so small too, though. I prefer him go down than he's a small dude. He's a small guy, and he actually slides so nice too. Once again, baseball right there. He's a nice slide.
By the way, he is going to be the starting center fielder this year.
Yeah, so I mean, that's gonna be interesting with that him and Lincoln. But I guess Lincoln already came out and said he's already talked to the baseball coach, and they already got a plan worked out for him. So I mean,
he can cover some territory in the outfield.
yeah, so I'm real high on Kyle Murray. I think he's gonna be great this next coming year. The thing I'm most nervous about is replacing Andrews and mostly Trey Miller. Trey Miller was our third down short, always the guy we go to. Like that guy, that's the guy I think is going to be the biggest thing to replace. We might have to do it somewhat, but it won't be as good as him because that guy was a great football player.
Somebody will emerge.
Well, I mean, I think we're going to be better offensively next year.
We could.
Overall.
We got another year with CD
I think
Lamb.
That's a bold statement.
CD
sir.
Lamb has another year behind him. Hollywood Brown's going to be a superstar from the start. We got another true freshman coming in. He's supposed to be better than CD Lamb was last year coming in. So, I mean, we have a lot of talent coming back.
Yeah, but it's a bold statement to say we're going to be better next year than we were this year.
We have a chance. I think. I don't know. I love Baker, but I think I'm real high on Kyle Murray. I think Kyle Murray could be just. I don't think he'd be just as good, but I don't think there's been much drop off. But I think we'll probably be a run first team though with Sermon and Anderson. So.
Yeah. Trying to look up some stuff. We got been trying to think of a
got
name.
A T-shirt coming out.
Yeah, we do have a T-shirt coming out. It's you can find it on Facebook.
We're not going to show if Billy sees that. He's going to be like, hey, take that off. Like, he's not going to get mad about that.
But it says just like Billy says, Booma. But hey, it's a proud moment. I mean, we all know when we're at the Heisman Trophy that
like even my Texas friend over here, he was even like laughing at Billy Sims during it because like, this guy really he's going to ever stop? It's like, yeah, that's what he does, man.
I don't know if Bradford would agree.
I mean, Baker is even too. Baker's like, hey, Sooner. He still kept on doing it, even if he said Sooner. So it's just like, all right, man.
Yeah, but the one was the best one was Jason White because Jason White didn't know what to do. Jason was standing, he just kept hollering, and he just goes Sooner.
That was the first time we had since Billy, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the first one.
I mean, I think we're all shocked when that happened because that was just like an onslaught of Boomas.
Yeah.
I mean, what do? You're on national TV, but one of your faithful OU alums,
One of the most famous alums.
one of the most famous alums, is standing in the crowd going "Booba!"
Yeah, from the back of the stand or the room. What about embarrassing Oklahoma State moments?
Wish we just say
I'm all
this.
for it.
All for
Oh,
Sorry.
You mean ones that have already happened?
yeah, ones that have already happened.
Just their name, Oklahoma State.
How
Oklahoma State.
about posting 1945 national?
There's nothing more embarrassing. Even OSU like fans. I mean, actually, some of them are actually proud of that, but that's just.
I tried to put myself in their shoes, and
I can't because they would be orange,
I don't know how.
and I hate all shades of orange.
Being a Sooner fan, I'd have to say that I would be against that. But if I didn't have any national championships in football, I might be all for that. I don't know.
I don't know, but they also are the most national championships in every other thing. So I mean, it's just like
And they would trade every one of them
for one
For-
football
for one in football.
or in basketball play too.
But
They
what-
always said that
but
basketball
what got
school,
me-
they never won anything in basketball either.
Is they were like one of the only schools who filled out the
They were the only school that
report.
filled out. No
Yeah,
one else in the country filled.
Nobody else in it went out to the schools. They filled it out. They basically voted for themselves to be national champions that year.
No one else did one, so they got rewarded one.
Yeah, so the group that did it, we gave them the national championship, and like 4 days later, and there it is. that is pretty embarrassing.
No, the most embarrassing one I think though was the '85 game where it was their number 3, he's number 2.
Yeah,
and Mike Gundy threw a perfect ball right in who dropped it?
it was a tight end.
The tight end,
the
right
back
in
of
the
the
end zone by himself, win the ball game, and hit him right in the
Bounces
hands,
right off of him,
and dropped it.
That was the highest recruited receiver or tight end that they'd ever had. Harley Dykes, right?
Was it Hartley? I can't remember who it was that did it, but it was. I remember, erupting with the fact that they dropped it because he was wide open.
Well, that's
I
what
could have
little
caught
brother
that
does.
one. I could have caught that one. So yeah, and the guy, the bricklayer that worked up at the university. I know that's old news, but he was building Pickens Palace up there and laid the bricks in the form of the OU logo. That's pretty cool.
That was good. Also, the guy just raping Rudolph the whole game.
Oh, gee.
You just can't forget about that guy.
I forgot about that was
one of the weirdest things I ever saw in my life. They kept showing them. Even when they're down by 30 points, it was still going at it. It was the weirdest thing
That may
ever.
have been one of the most popular memes. Ever.
And what's funny is Herb Street was doing the game, and they were showing him one time, and you hear Herb Street chuckle, and then it's just quiet for like 10 seconds, and they turn their mics off because they're like, "Oh my God, somebody take that off!"
They just kept showing them.
Good call, Caleb.
Another thing too is embarrassing too is that probably the greatest running back of all greatest OSU player of all time. Every time they play OU, his dad rooted for OU because his dad was a Sooner fan. So that's pretty embarrassing too. That whenever your own dad cheers against you to lose, and when you're the greatest player in the history of OSU football, and your dad wants you to lose every game against OU, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. Or Julius pull up the.
He's pulling up the Rudolph meme.
It says, "I don't always molest wild animals, but when I do, it's on national TV. Only at Oklahoma State does that happen."
Yeah, and the poor guy's wearing a black Stetson hat. Everything else is orange. I mean, come on.
Another one, even though this is helping out our real rival Texas, but that game against Texas against Vince Young when they were winning like 35-30,
35,
at halftime, and Vince Young just comes out there and just destroys them.
Rob is pulling up all of the memes on the Rudolph incident. That's just that's the Rudolph incident.
So, like I say, that helped Texas a lot though. But that game right there, like that game, they had Texas beat, and that was Texas national championship year. And at OSU, they choked like they always do.
They had them.
I think they were up by 21 points at halftime. The game was pretty much over, but then they just let Vince Young go out there and come back and win.
Is that anything else we can think about Oklahoma State? We'll have plenty of time to talk about
Oklahoma State's like Texas is a little harder because Texas has actually good tradition behind them. Like OSU, it's like, no.
Well, but
the second richest team in the country.
Yeah, and but isn't their stadium named after an OU alum?
Yeah, that's true.
An OU
Hollis,
alum.
Oklahoma, Darrell Royal.
Yeah, they named their stadium after a Sooner.
Yeah.
So they couldn't beat us, so they're trying to join us.
He was a Sooner, but he was born in Hollis, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I will say this: I've been in the OSU games for kind of fun, but there's nothing better than the OU Texas game.
No,
because there is a little respect for each other. You hate them, but you still respect. There's still respect. There's still respect.
Do you have any respect for Texas, Rob?
No.
There's still respect. It's not like OSU. There's no respect at all. But Texas, when Texas is good, because you're actually scared of them. You're scared of Texas. You're scared of them being good because Texas actually when they're good, they're good. So you respect them that way. OSU when they're good, you still don't respect them because they're OSU.
Here's the thing with OU Texas. I remember the year we went in there. We were 0-5. We had just gotten beat by Tulsa, and we go in there. I think that's the game we tied. No, we actually won that game. That was, I can't remember the score now. No. Do you remember that year?
No.
Oh, you were sad.
We got beat by Tulsa. Well, that would have been in the early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
And then we went in there, and I think we beat them. Or that might be the year we tied them. I can't remember. But they were ranked, I believe, number 2 in the country at that time.
Oh, that was the year before that. Yeah, I remember. That was
Is that Fogel's team?
Yeah, Fogel, and it was the only time John Blake beat them, and Justin Fuentes was the quarterback.
In the back was James
Allen.
Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd have thought we won the national championship.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with that game, though.
Yeah.
You know, we could be ranked number 1, and they could be 0-5, and they could come in there and beat us.
Yeah.
I said Texas. Like I said, Texas actually. You actually. I say we respect Texas, man, and you don't like them. But when Texas is good, we actually like OSU's been good for the last 4 years. We were like, oh, it's OSU. We can still beat them. Texas, on the other hand, though, when they're good, you're like, okay, we actually have to play for this game because this is a real rivalry. Anything can happen in this game. OSU, I mean, what 98-14 or 17, whatever. So I mean, even like when we aren't good, we still beat them. So
I'll tell you what. For one of the subjects of our next podcast, how about is OU Texas a bigger rivalry to us than OU OSU?
Oh, that's not a question. It's OU Texas.
I said next time.
You ended right here though. I mean, it's OU Texas.
Well, you may be in the minority.
No. It's a poll out there. It's real. It's bigger rivalry to OSU fans because, like I said, OSU's a little brother. They annoy you, but you just like them to shoe and they go away because that's all they are. You just go away.
It's what is it? 88 and
Texas,
17?
Texas. You can't ignore Texas.
Something like that.
You can't ignore OSU. OSU's like okay, get away. Texas, you can't ignore them. Texas, they're there. I mean, even this year, Texas had number 3 recruiting class. Like they're going to be there.
Well, it's the only team that we play on a regular basis that has a winning record over us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Which you didn't have to bring that up either,
But we have more Big 12 titles. We have more national championships. We have more Heisman winners. We have more All-Americans. We have more everything else we have over them. They have that one little thing. They try to shove it in our face. Like, okay, get out of here with that. Also, do y'all see that Nebraska made fun of OU about the spring game?
Oh yeah, that we're wanting
80,000. Nebraska's like, oh, it's hilarious that OU fans today actually need to do this. And then so OU's Barstool OU's account was like, just put out all these stats. Since 2000, we have more national championships, more conference titles, more Heisman winners, more wins. So
yeah, well, Nebraska screwed up going to the Big Ten. I mean that.
Well, they seen what was coming with the Texas Longhorn Network.
Yeah, they wanted out of it, but
get this up next time.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot more. I think everybody's going to get out and what do you say? Go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
I'm going to watch the UFC fights tonight. My Lakers are winning right now too, just so you know. I mean, I like the Thunder too, but I am a Lakers fan. So anyway. I'm sorry about that game Thursday night. That beautiful game that just happened.
So anyway, we're off to Buffalo Wild Wings. Booma Rob.
Booma Terry.
Booma.
Thanks for downloading and listening to Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Go like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans. Follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Booma, everybody.